Exactly what he tries to do. And it's well bowled by Ravi. And yeah, he just doesn't give him anything left to work with it. Doesn't give him anything left to work with it. Crashes into his pad. So a dot to finish the 9th. Excellent figures of 2 for 10 off his allotted 4 overs. And the score at the end of 19 overs is 118 for 5. Well, if you want to snip out that last ball where I predicted exactly what was going to happen, and, send that to me on my social media at Mr. Maximo. I won't complain. So I often think if I was a bowler, which I obviously haven't been a bowler for a long time, but you look at the eyes of the batter. The eyes never lie. He was eyeing off a gap, a particular gap that he wanted. And I think whether Vino Ravi saw that or not, I think that if he did, then he makes the adjustment to make it really tough to play that shot. And Liam appreciates it. What I will say is cricket's a lot easier when you're off the field and just looking in. So I never forget what it's like. Now, what do we have here? We might have a bit of an injury. I was going to say, do we have a retired out situation? But Christian Munoz-Mills, he is hobbling. And I'm not quite sure what happened there because he had a dot ball off the last ball. I think for sure he's going to retire hurt. That's a big situation. And he doesn't look in good shape at all. Oh, it was so innocuous because it was a dot ball. I didn't even have my eyes on Christian. And so, wow, this is a big story. Oh, I wonder if it was just whether he was turning around. I can't really speculate because my eyes weren't on the Spanish skipper. But he is taking a lot of time to get off the field here. And, well, you just hope it's not too serious. But it looks like it might be. And he's taking a lot of time to get off the ground. What we will see then is we'll see Mohamed Kamran for the first time in international cricket facing up with an over to play. Well, not a bad situation for him to come to the crease, and real pressure on him at all. Got his lucky number 1 on his back, Mohamed Kamran. And, he's one guy that's come out there in the cap. And, yeah, I mean, you got to feel for Chris Munoz-Mills. I mean, all the preparation that goes into obviously getting ready for a series like this. And he does not look in good shape. He's still not quite off the field. We will have the last over. And so here's Cammy. Is there a little nick on this? I don't know if it maybe just hits the ground. I think it's a bit of a noise. The bowler here is Waidula Sahar. Yeah, I think at any rate, it probably went past the bat on the full. So Kamran, this is a nice little warm-up for him because I'd be amazed if he doesn't bowl the first over in the second half of this game. So wherever you are around the world, make sure you're tuning in because that'll be must-watch TV. Kamran, get his first run in international cricket. He just kind of one-hand slices this one to Ali Tafsir. So 119. Jeez, it's been a good little comeback. We had the no ball 4 off the beamer, first ball of the 18th, but we haven't seen a boundary since. So that's kind of 12, 13 now consecutive balls without a boundary, which is really useful at the end of the innings. And look, if the top order batters are struggling to get boundaries in the middle overs when they're trying to accelerate, it's got to be tough for the middle to lower order to do it at the end when they're new to the crease. Well, maybe not. This one is going. It's going. And, wow, I think this is gone. Well, Maximo. Lorne Burns. This one was absolutely smashed. It was a full toss and baseball style. He got it all the way. And useful runs coming at the end of the innings. And I wonder if the fielder just misjudges that a little bit out there. Seemed to come in a little bit, but he needed to be right back on the rope. He was still on the move. Maximo time for Lorne. Lorne launches. Can they still reach that 130? 3 balls to go. Slow ball. Got to push for 2 here, I think. Kamran's down. I think they should get it fairly easily. Yeah, there's long boundaries. Makes it more possible, especially after a shot like that where Burns, I think, pushes the fielder back a little bit. He does get back for a couple. Well, Burns had an interesting time. Always had his head taken off first ball, and then he put a bit of hurt on that delivery. 6 useful runs. Now, it's a bit funky, but he hits it straight at the fielder. And he does scramble through for one. So 128, and Cameron will face the last ball of the innings. I talked about past scores. Originally, I thought 130, 140, but just seeing how this tournament's playing out, something like 120, I think. Proof will be in the pudding. Last ball coming up. Not just yet, though. Yeah, Cameron, wouldn't he love a boundary and walk off like a boss? Get ready to bowl some thunderbolts. Buckle up. Swing, miss, miss, another miss. No throw, that'll be a bye. And Spain, they will finish with 129. Well, Kaiser, you'll probably see him there shortly. Oh, that was a real gutter ball. Couldn't decide where he was going to throw. It's one thing to throw back at the bowler, but he threw it down the wrong pitch. So, yeah, watching that replay back, not the best throw I've ever seen. Do like the plan, but not really executed. Look, just cost them one in the end. And Spain, yeah, they end up scrambling their way to 129. I think they will have the kind of confidence in themselves that they can do the job with the ball. But we will have to see what kind of Norway comes out, and will they be bogged down early? We know that they've got a couple of players that missed out yesterday in the top and middle order. They'll want to certainly get amongst the runs. I know big focus on the Spanish fielding. They're the one team we haven't seen field yet in the tournament. Let's see what kind of standards they're bringing to the table. A fairly new look unit, but it will be good to see the hosts out. That'll be Norway. Well, this time they're going to have to do it chasing. Let's see if their bats fire as we go back to the highlights of the first innings this morning. Our first chance to see the Spanish openers out there, and Norway's Ahmed. Unfortunately for him, he would go very first ball. Eventually, Doyle Collier, he was out there and hit one boundary, but then just hit across this one. It didn't get up as much as he thought. JTM, he was just struggling to get going, wasn't he, for most of his innings? But what he did is he built a partnership with Yasser Ali. I think Yasser Ali deserves a lot of the credit for the fact that Spain do get up to this score of 129. Eventually on 44, Yasser just mistimes this stroke off a slower ball. It was a wicket for Mohammad Sahar. It was a little bit expensive when he came into the attack. Yasser with 3 boundaries and a 6 in his innings. But as usual, we saw international standard fielding for the most part. You see, just doing most of the right things. So it was a nice catch down by Ali Tafsir as Hamza came, and Hamza went the hurricane. Unfortunately, wasn't able to get too much going. Again, look back at these little things if it is close. Then Burns, we had his whole life flashed before his eyes. He always had the shortest international career ever. It's what he did do is get enough bat on that to get 4. That got him going. Eventually, JTM found the fielder, so he had to go for 39, but he did provide some stability. And then Lorne, hits this one out of the ground. That's the one that got them past 120, and ultimately they would set 130 here for Norway. And see the ground staff going to work, and I must say, this ground is pretty as a picture. We'll get to see Cameron when we return after the break, and I know that a lot of people are going to want to see this battle first up. We'll probably have Kaiser Ahmed, the captain, and well, I would have thought Raza Iqbal, but he did go off with a slight injury concern, so I'm not sure he'll even be allowed to open the batting. So that might force a bit of a rejig at the top of the order for Norway. Looking at the scorecard here, Yasser Ali top scores with 44 of 39. It was the partnership with Trevor Morrow which did kind of set this innings up. That partnership was worth 80. Apart from that, we saw Lorne Burns chipping in with a handy little 15 knot at the end of the innings. And the other thing to note is Chris Munoz-Mills. He did retire hurt after what looked like a fairly serious injury. It was innocuous, so I can't tell you too much more, but I will try to get to the bottom of these things in the innings break. With the ball, well, it was Vinay Ravi. He was the star for me. 4 overs, including a maiden. He took 2 for 10, going at only 2.5 economy. Apart from that, there were wickets for Wahidullah Sahak as well as Wagari and Mohammad Sahak. And most of the time, say the bowlers were pretty tight. A couple of exceptions, I suppose. But Norway, they have been bowling well as a unit. But now it's over to the batters. And they will require 130 for victory If they do that, Norway will be 2-0, and they'll be flying in this series. Hope you can join us when we return in around about, I'll tell you exactly how many, in around about 5 minutes we'll be back, and so it won't be a very quick break at all. It'll be camera on the clock. Hopefully you join us then. Vinny Sounder here, Mr. Maximo for the European Cricket Network. Hope you're having a great day wherever you're watching around the world. We'll see you shortly for more ECI T20 International Cricket from Spain. Hello and welcome back to the Desert Springs Cricket Ground in Almeria, Spain. Vinny Sandu here, Mr. Maximo for the European Cricket Network, and we are here for this very exciting tournament, T20 International Cricket back on ECN. We have Spain, Norway and Guernsey here in this tri-series. Each team playing 4 matches across the weekend. A lot on the line, of course. The teams, they want to win this tri-series, but again, it's all about accumulating ranking points as these teams look to push themselves up the international table. At the moment, it's pretty clustered, and you have seen so far a lot of competitive cricket. Certainly no easy beats in this tournament at all. In the first half of this match, it was Spain that won the toss, and they elected to bat first. They ended up making 129 off their 20 overs, led by contributions from Yasser Ali, who scored 44 off 39 balls, and Josh Trimble-Morrow, who was able to score 39. And now Spain are going to come out in the field for the first time in the tournament, so always a pretty exciting moment when you get out there on the field as a team. Now, news from the break. I was just doing a bit of an injury kind of investigation. And look, Raza Iqbal, he normally opens for Norway, but he's struggling with a thumb, and he's hoping it's not broken, but he won't be opening the batting. I don't think we'll see him batting at all in this innings. He's their left-arm spinner and normally opening batter. So they are going to open up with Kazar Ahmed, who's out there, and yeah, I believe it will be, the word I got is it probably would be Sahak opening up. Yes, it is Wahidullah Sahak. And so yeah, this will be really interesting. We'll get to see Mohamed Kamran for the first time. He'll be opening up. Now that's Lorne Burns. He is the acting captain because Christian Munoz-Mills looks like he turned in on his ankle, and it was so innocuous. I don't think anyone saw it, but he was essentially helped from the field late in the Spanish innings, and that is a big blow because, I mean, he is an outstanding fielder, one that is pretty hard to replace. So they do have Ravi Panchal, their 12th man, who will be deputising for the captain. But it will be Lorne Burns on T20 International debut. Essentially, he'll be leading Spain in the field. And so, yes, I'm certainly hoping that these injuries aren't too serious, and particularly Munoz-Mills didn't look good the way that he was helped off. I think it's a suspected ankle injury. And now we are going to see this man, the hitman, in T20 International Cricket for the first time. Well, remember where you were, and he's so good at taking wickets early in the innings. Here we go, strap yourself in. 130 to win for Norway. First ball, it's driven pretty well, but doesn't beat the fielder. That's Charlie Rumistrovic. Very talented young left-arm spinner. Well, Charlie, it looks like he's grown a bit since the last time I saw him. He's only, well, he's about to have a birthday, in fact. He'll be 22 in the next week. Not 22, pardon me. It's the year 2022. He'll be 17, that's what I'm trying to say. So, but he wishes he was 22, Charlie. So I'm looking forward to seeing him. And he does look like he's shot up a little bit since the last time I saw him, which was about a year ago, in fact. Kamran to Wahidullah Sahak. And, Andrew Elliott just having a word like he has to a couple of the bowlers today about making sure they get off the wicket. Just have a look at Kamran here. He does kind of take 1 or 2 steps straight down the middle in front of Andrew Elliott. And again, especially with the turf pitch, I won't be having any of that. I think the other thing is you want to make sure you don't obscure the umpire's vision. Slip in place for Kamran. It's taken pretty much off the stumps. That's one. Yeah, the top order didn't come off for Norway yesterday at all, did it? And they had a strange kind of an innings, in fact. And it was the kind of innings where it was just saved by one man, because at one point, you know, the 14 over mark, they were 58 for 5. At one point, you know, they were 52 for 5 in that innings. Just took a long time to get going when they did. It was thanks to Sher Sahak, who I assume we'll see a bit batting a bit higher, if for no other reason, maybe because Raza Iqbal. Just don't see him batting at all, to be honest. And that thumb, when I had a look at it, he wasn't bending it. It is his right thumb, so as far as his bowling, it shouldn't affect him at all. But Yeah, fielding and batting. Yeah, I'd have my concerns about that. Let's see how they let you. We'll see pretty much straight away in the next game. This is driven, cut off by Daniel Kayak, another player on T20 international debut. A lot of his cricket in South Africa. Cameron hasn't really kind of taken the handbrake off yet. It's just what I'm gathering. I suppose he's got a bit longer to work his way into it here with 4 overs available instead of the normal 2. Have a situation where he could bowl potentially 8 overs in the day. Well, this one's too fast. It's going to be a first international wicket for Mohamed Kamran. Well, he makes it look easy. It wasn't a great shot from Wahidullah Sahak. He was promoted to open the innings in place of the injured Raza Iqbal. And he goes looking for trouble, and he finds it. The hitman with a caught and bowled. And it will be the first wicket of the second innings. It's too easy for Mohamed Kamran. I wonder if he sees Wahidullah Sahak coming here and puts a little bit shorter. He's just way too late on that. So we didn't have to wait too long for a hitman strike. Norway, a 3 for 1. You see, I think he just makes it a little bit shorter. And that's one thing about Kamran, is he uses length so effectively. His bowls are really slippery in swinging Yorker. Just ask his acting captain here, Lorne Burns. He destroyed his stumps first ball of a match in the Spanish Championship weekend last year. But this one, yeah, just too quick for Wahidullah Sahak. And look, I don't mind the aggression from Wahidullah Sahak. I just think perhaps Kamran isn't the easiest target to go after. And certainly things bore out that way. Got to say hello to Julie Ruckers. Well, Julie, I know you're very proud of Corey, who's coaching Spain in an official T20 international for the first time. And this is an internationally recognised T20 international match. That's why these teams are essentially earn ranking points from these contests. And again, the more cricket they play, the more likely you are to climb that rankings chart. All these teams in this tournament between 38 and 41 in the world order. End of the over as well, so 3 for 1. Kamran always seems to get a wicket first over. And obviously, international cricket is no exception. Second over about to begin. And it's going to be Adil Raja to bowl. Another player we've seen plenty of on ECN. Saw him for Spain in the ECC last year on the European Cricket Network. There's a bit of pace about him as well, Adil. A few people asking about the Spanish uniforms. Well, they're in their alternate kind of darker blue uniforms. You do see them often playing in the red. Just showing a bit of range here in this series. Push and no run there. The captain, Hazar Ahmed, he went very early yesterday. I know he was disappointed about that. I'm sure he's keen to dig in today for his side. Let's this one go. Yesterday, Hazar Ahmed went for 2 off 6 and he just kind of mistimed it. Flick off the pads, got a top edge and went to the keeper. Flirting with the idea of playing at that one. Decides against it in the end. We've had about enough already. And, Raja just saying, what are you doing? I think or words to that effect. We're talking about Kamran running on the pitch. And look, the exception is if you're bowling, if you are fielding the ball, which he was, and he took that catch, he got every right to do that. Kind of in your normal follow through, you cannot. Actually, one thing for sure, the umpires have been all over that so far. And, obviously, playing on turf pitches, something you don't see a lot in European cricket across the board. Looked away, well fielded down there. It is Lorne Burns, the acting skipper at point. So, new batter out there is Wali Gori. Not the striker's end right now. We've got the skipper on strike, but Norwy's a pretty good batter. I mean, a bit of a free shot, I think, putting Wahidullah Sahak to the top of the order. I think they're just trying that. I mean, he was listed at 8 on my sheet, just because the regular opener, Raza Iqbal, unavailable to open due to that thumb injury. I don't think it hurts him that much to lose that first wicket. Could be trouble. No, says the umpire. Now we'll have a look at this. I don't have the best angle. Liam was asking where I am. I'm widen it off. And we'll see as much as we can see. We'll see camera behind the batter at this end. Raja, he's getting pretty full. And that one may have just slid down. Does hit him on the 4. I suppose we can't see exact point of impact, but I think the reason it wouldn't have been given is that the umpire felt it was going down the leg side. There's certainly nothing to suggest from the pictures that it wasn't. Good pace again. Raja's fired up here as he ends up delivering a maiden in his first over, just the second maiden of the game. The score at the end of 2 overs is 3 for 1. So, I welcome everyone, no matter where you're watching around the world. It's great to have your company once again. And, I hope you're enjoying the coverage of this T20 International Series. I noticed in qualifier 1 in Romania, it's Bucharest Gladiators that are chasing 80 for victory after keeping Baniasta to 79. I mean, what a story that would be. The Gladiators, who finished last year. They had to qualify for this tournament, the Bucharest Gladiators. And they bat well. That could be the first team straight through to the final. So here's Kamran again. Some players, they just must watch players. Let's see if he can produce again. Oh, this is quicker. I don't know what it is. First over, he seemed to bowl within himself. And this is noticeably quicker. Gary's the new batter. This will wake you right up. Side, but just watching that live, that was the effort ball, I think, from Mohamed Kamran. Slip in place. Ball flies away. The third man down there, as you'd expect. I think a lot of balls might fly in that direction. That guy does get off the mark. I think he'll be pretty happy to sit and watch the captain go about his business for a little while. Once again, I value your contributions in the live chat, ECN European Cricket Network. Got to say, fascinating contests we've had so far. Different sort of cricket, but very, very gripping cricket in this series. Kamran, it's always a threat of straightening the ball down the line, but also, that one that goes across is also dangerous, might take an outside edge. There's the bouncer. It's a pretty good one, well directed, and that's what makes him so dangerous. So if you're playing for that full one, that one actually going a pretty good rate of knots. You're playing for that full one, there's always that one that can sit you down. So that's why it is such a dangerous delivery to have up your sleeve. A genuine fast bowler, Mohamed Kamran. Another shortish one. It wasn't as short. I think it would be classed as a bounce. I think it was about chest high. You see just about a little bit late into the shot. Good contest. This is what we want to see at international level, or any level for that matter. Once again, see the batter. And all at sea against that That extra 10% of pace that Cameron has against other bowlers, just rush you. You see there the feet, and they're nowhere, not getting behind that. And he's lucky that it's short enough that it bounces over the stumps in the end, Kaiser Ahmed. And he's really struggling here. He's 2 off 11. And Norway really struggling to get moving. Last ball of the over. Some discussions about the field. They brought in kind of a genuine gully now, in addition to the floating slip. Last ball of the third. A bit full up, driven, doesn't beat the field, and so yeah, excellent over once again. Because after 3 overs, it is 4 for 1. So certainly Mohamed Kamran delivering just 1 single off that over. The 3 overs so far, we've had 3, 0 and 1. So Adil Raja, I'm sure he'll come back for a second over. Now I want to see how Corey Ruckers and Lorne Burns, and I suppose Christian Munoz Mills by default, how they use Kamran. Do you give him a third here? I just think he's such a dangerous new ball bowler that you at least give him a third. Maybe not a fourth, because he's handy to have up your sleeve if something goes wrong, but you know, there's so many ways you can use him. Haven't really seen him getting a lot of swing, genuine swing so far. Here's a deal in over number 4. Carved away. It's Zorkanane Hyder. He's another bowling option for Spain. They certainly have a good range of options, range of pace and spin options. I think look like a fairly well-balanced side. Okay, yes, they've lost their captain now, and just looking at that injury that Chris Mills sustained. I mean, they will play again today, later in the day, but essentially Spain, they play the last match tonight and both matches tomorrow. You'd have to be in some serious doubt for those. Kaiser pushes, runs, has to run. Oh, and he cops this. And hopefully he's all right here. I don't know where this gets him. Might get him in the ribs. He's completely exposed to this, Kaiser Ahmed. You look at this. The throw is a wild one. And yeah, maybe that's the shoulder. That's got to hurt. Wow, need your danger money to play at international level. I certainly hope he's okay. There's nothing intended from the fielder. And so yeah, both teams just going to regroup here. See, the throw comes on in, and I think it's Yasser Ali. He's obviously nothing intended there. He's quick to get over, and well, it's thrown so hard and hits him so hard that it bounces back to the fielder. That gives you an indication that it was thrown hard and it hit him hard. So especially after they've already lost one opener to what could be a broken thumb. It's definitely a badly damaged thumb. That's Raza Iqbal. You don't need to have your captain knocked out, although for sure he hasn't set the world on fire yet. But he's had to deal with some tough bowlings. 3 off 13 at the moment. And I think Adil Raja, he's got a point to prove as well. I mean, all the buzz about Kamran being eligible and coming into the lineup. I think he's keen to prove. He's no slouch with the ball either. He hasn't done too much wrong so far. Got to say hello to Terry, who's watching from the Czech Republic. He said, yeah, you have to give Kamran a third. Now is when he will do the most damage. Yeah, I have to agree with you. I think you've got to give him a third. If he bowls a good third, I'd be tempted to bowl him out. I mean, why not? You've got plenty of options down the stretch, but you don't have too many options that are as dangerous with this newish ball in Kamran. Well, the good news is that Kaiser Ahmed has recovered, and I'm sure when he wakes up tomorrow, he'll know exactly where that ball hit him, but he's tough as nails. He'll stay out there. Bigari, who's facing up to Adil Raja. Eventually, Just making a late field change here. Rugby punch on the 12th man. Substitute fielder being directed by the substitute captain, Lorne Burns. Open the block hole. Pushes, but no run. Pretty good delivery. Gary does well to keep it out. This is good pace as well from Adil. So I've got Kevin in the chat. I did mention this before, but I'll mention it again. He wants an update on Christian Munoz-Mills' injury. Well, I went over there in the halftime break, and no one, I think, saw what he did. But what happened was when he was just kind of walking or returning to his crease on a fairly innocuous ball, looks like he has twisted his ankle, and he's kind of twisted it in, and they're still assessing it. So yeah, he certainly took a long time to get off the field. For sure, I don't think we'll see him fielding at all in this game. I very much doubt we'll see him tonight, and who knows about tomorrow. So not what you want if you're a Spanish supporter, especially because it wasn't even on something that wasn't really run. He just, maybe it's one of those cases where the spikes hit the pitch in a funny way. You get a lot of more injuries to the ankle that are kind of, when your ankle kind of snaps outwards. This one seemed to be inwards. The medical staff taking good care of him at the moment. He's getting some treatment, but I would say he's in a lot of doubt for this weekend, just based on that initial assessment. This one knocked down. They're going to take two here. They're going to get it to Mitrovic, who just got down to that, but knocked it a bit too far away from himself. So they do get a second. And the other thing with Chris Munoz-Mills is, would you want to risk him when you've got, a fair few players that you want to try out? If you're Spanish coach, Corey Rutgers, obviously you don't want to lose your captain, but you don't want to risk him unnecessarily. He's not the sort of player you'd play on one leg, is he? Chris Munoz-Mills. Anyway, into the fourth over. The score's 8-1. Certainly our thoughts are with Chris Munoz-Mills. We'll be bitterly disappointed not to be out there leading the Spanish side onto the field, but he's one of the real nice guys, real intelligent guy as well. Loves his cricket. So it's going to be Mohammed Kamran, who is going to come back for a third. All right. Well, everybody, eyes on the screen right now. Here's Cammy. He's bowling to the already banged up Kaiser Ahmed. He goes for it. This could be trouble. Oh, he's so lucky. And this is out of the reach of Yasser Ali. Trying to elevate the power play. You can understand that, but he doesn't get this anywhere near the middle of the bat. In the outside half, and Yasser, he did whatever he could to get across, but it was just out of his reach. And this is the thing. Okay, just the 1 wicket down, but at that rate, it was already climbing. It started at 6.5 and over. Already kind of heading north towards eights. There's kind of a point where you have to go for it. But I mean, like I say, I think you got to know who you're going after. I don't know if these openers are the ones that you want to take risks to fairly good deliveries. And maybe it's just a time to kind of staying in the game and maybe attacking the middle overs a bit more. Well, that's the quicker one. And Gary plays this pretty well. Spots it pretty early. Leaves the periscope up a little bit. Let's see. Cameron is a clever bowler, and he doesn't just use his pace, he uses length quite cleverly. So you'll see him maybe dig a couple in, but then the Yorker will come. And seen plenty of times he's rearranged the furniture. There it is, in fact. So it's all about the Yorker trick. It's well handled by Gowrie. And part of being a batter as well is being alert to what the bowler's thinking. So You know, it's not just me. I'm not just a genius for picking that. I mean, the batter will know, okay, he's bowled one upstairs on me. Got to be careful. And obviously, you might get another short one, maybe chest tight. But I think, yeah, you're pretty careful about your stumps in that situation. One thing that Cameron hasn't done so far, and sometimes he does, sometimes he doesn't, he hasn't really swung the ball. That's what makes him even more dangerous. I'm not sure if this is even a bouncer, to be honest. When I say that, I mean, I'm not sure it passes above the shoulder height in a standing position. So yeah, I think that one's going to be play on. And Cameron, he just has that kind of face. Butter wouldn't melt in his mouth. He's, I'm sure, I know him pretty well. He's really loving being out there, but you'd never know it. He will be stone-faced. But yeah, it's great seeing international cricket. There's another one. Throws down pretty short, but I don't think it's high enough to be classed as a bouncer. You see, when the batter stands up, I think that ball passes below the shoulder. So, Thrive in the chat was asking, he missed the game yesterday between Norway and Guernsey. Who's the best batter from Norway? Well, they've got a lot of good batters. It's hard to say who's the best. I can tell you who the best performer was yesterday. It was Mohammad Shahak. 70 not out. He carried not just his team, but really he was the standout batter of any team. This one's a little bit ill-directed. This one will disappear. And it will be for the first boundary of the reply. It comes off the last ball of the fifth. Cameron's getting a bit too straight on that occasion. Well, credit to Kaiser Ahmed. He's hung in there. It hasn't been easy. Once again, doesn't really get inside the line of that. He kind of stands and swings it away. And so that'll give him some relief as he doubles his score to 8. The score at the end of 5 overs is 14 for 1. So Cameron 1 for 10 off his 3 overs. I wonder if we'll see him bowl another one. My feeling is, especially the way that went, I'll probably try somebody else and just keep Cameron as an option. It's a kind of nuclear option. If it feels like Norway are mounting a bit of a counter-attack or a bit of a response, then you can always use him either in the middle or towards the end. And so we'll see exactly what Lorne Burns, the acting Spanish skipper, does as we head into the 6th over. And this looks like Zulkarnain Haider, who is going to take over at the top end. Just keep an eye on that run rate required. It's up to, it's actually 7 3/4. Just an injury update for Norway. That Raza Iqbal left the field late in the innings with a thumb injury. He hasn't opened the innings. I'm not sure we'll see him bat at all. That's absolutely required here for Norway. It's a nice looking shot. Stands and delivers with a long chase to the fielder. In fact, he's not going to get there. 4 runs. A good start for Gary. It's a play out that's too good to stay down for long. Zulkarnain Haider, first ball, just over pitches slightly. Worst delivery. Gary's just got these nice, kind of free, easy hands, and the result's 4 runs. One thing for sure is in this series we're going to see games that have plenty of twists and turns. So still have 15 overs to get these runs. Walk this time. Gary wants to go. This could be out, you know, and he is gone. That's a direct hit. And so it's going to be a run out, and it was Kaiser Ahmed. Took a long time to get going. And this one just flicks the stumps on the way back to Always Ahmed, and it catches the captain short. We'll see here. And yeah, you see it is a direct hit, and Kaiser, he looked pretty nervously across the umpire, and Andrew Elliott was quick to put the finger up. And you see here, comes in, as that direct, and there, it's just out. It's a really good decision. Yeah, really good decision there. You see, excellent umpiring. And excellent fielding, you'd have to say. As direct hits, they are worth a fair bit in this form of the game. As Yasser Ali, well, he was the one that almost knocked out K.Varma before. And now he's knocked him out of this contest, as K.Varma has to go for 8, and the score is 18 for 2. And so, good throw, says Nidge. Bullseye, says Thrive. Yeah, it was a good throw. Considering how bad the throw was from Yasser Ali before, that actually threw it. When he threw it into K.Varma, that one was spot on. And so, this means we'll have new batter out there. This looks to me like Bilal Safta coming out at number 4. So yeah, I mean, Kaiser ends up going for 8 off 17 with 1 boundary. Look, it wasn't really happening for him out there. But he did the hard work. He got through 3 overs of Kamran and a couple of Adil Raja. This one is driven, but straight at that short cover. That's Daniel Dahl Kayet. And low full toss. Interesting kind of crossroads in this game. Norway trying to put something together. It's a long way across there. It's a nervous little takeoff from the batter. Let's see. This one, I think, just angling down the leg side. But whenever you see a batter take off like that, it means that they have a non-zero amount of concern about where that ball hits them. You never quite know as a batter sometimes as well, because you don't see exactly where your stumps are. It's a way to act like you're cool about it, but actually, whenever I see that, I know the truth is probably the opposite. This one's hit away nicely and well cut off. Think about a second, it's never there. Just be 1, so Safta gets off the mark. Thrive asking, is there any prize pool available? I think the prize is international ranking points. That's what this is all about, as well as obviously the honour of winning the series. An aggressive option from Bilal Safta. Trying to get away off the back foot, but just gets a single. I guess, you know, the higher you finish up in the T20 national rankings, there are certain advantages about playing longer form of the game, playing the 50-over game in the international scene. So that's why these games are pretty important. Nice looking drive by Gowrie. We'll get a couple here at a minimum. In fact, he might even get more than that. He'll get 4. Well, that just shows you this outfield's quickening up. As the dews burned away, and Yasser, it was a long chase, but Gowrie gets 4. Beautiful looking shot. You can see, I love the way he kind of opens himself up a little bit, but still strokes the ball fairly safely through the offside. It's a feature of his batting. Good effort from Yasser Ali. He's been in the thick of things, but he won't be able to cut it off. And that's also the end of the over. 6 overs down at the end of the power play. It's 23 for 2. Now we've got some data on these power plays. If you go back to yesterday, the 6-over power plays were 20 for Norway. We're 27 for Guernsey. And then today, Spain had 21. And now, Norway got 23. So it shows you that nobody's really gone bananas in the power play. Just about 4 and over, not even. So, Norway just hanging in there. They need a partnership. And to be honest, it's very similar to where Spain were at this time. Spain were 21 for 2, Norway 23 for 2. And so now that we're out of the power play, we're going to go straight to spin. And it's going to be Charlie Rumitrovic. Yeah, good young player. I think I mentioned that he'll be 17 this week. I think I accidentally said he was going to be 22, but he wishes. Charlie plays at La Manga Torrevieja Cricket Club. And did you mention I think he's put on a bit of height since last time I've seen him. That's always handy as a spinner. Just get a bit of extra bounce. And here we see him for the first time in the tournament. I'm sure his family and friends will be watching. And hello to all the Rumitrovic clan. I know it's a bit of a family affair there at La Manga. So here we go with over number 7. And Be Safta on strike. So immediately getting a bit of turn. And this is something I've noticed on this pitch. Probably taken a bit more turn. But the bowlers actually have tried to spin it than I might have expected. He's not afraid to take a bit off the ball as well, Remitrovic. Well, welcome to the modern game. Reverse sweep comes out. It's a risky shot for, I don't know how much reward you'll get. But if he misses that, he's in some serious trouble, Safta. Yeah, I don't mind. He's trying to get inventive. Some play that shot more confidently than others. Flicked away and gets through the gap. So we'll just get a single. Still okay, yeah. Couldn't quite make the stop. Now this is an interesting one. Sigari, left-handed to the left-arm orthodox. And the thing is, today we don't really have that big cross breeze, which is kind of right to left on the field that we had yesterday that I think Gary would have enjoyed, because I mean he could really attack that leg side. The field we've got here is really quite straight, long on, long off, and then just a forward square leg. The areas that he could really attack are mid-wicket and cover, where there's no outfielders. It's a good contest coming up here. Mitrovic is the kind of player, he's mature beyond his years. And he just never seems ruffled. A lot of his teammates from Mangatorvieka be tuning in. Hello to you guys. I know you're cheering him on. Well, this could be trouble. Could be big trouble. Umpire says no. Wow, it's an interesting one. And it certainly hits him in line. Oh, I mean, my instinct there was, didn't feel like it was turning enough to miss leg. I think that Remitrovic can consider himself a bit unlucky there. Run there. Well, give us your thoughts. If you are watching, you know, it's a great time. Why don't we do a lurker call out? If you're lurking, if you're watching and you can't get in the chat very much, now's the time. Drop us a message. Say hello. I want to say hello to you back. I know that's Lamunga, who just popped up in the chat saying, what's that missing? That's certainly one that I can't answer very easily, but umpire's in the best position. And, if you're a lurker, say hello now. Roomy. Well, but he's straight to cover. Into the over. Pretty good one. Only a single off it. Pretty unlucky, I think, not to take his first wicket of the series. 7 overs down, and it's 24 for 2. So, I was talking about the birthday of Charlie Roomy, unless I read it wrong. Oh, okay. Well, I've got it as 3/5/2005, but half the time they switch the day and the month. So I'll have to ask him. So he's either already 17 or he's about to be 17. That's something I'll find out before the next match. Why can't the whole world be right? This is one thing. I've got a lot of American friends, but I do think they get the dates wrong. I don't know why you put it out of order, month, then day, then year. It doesn't seem right. Yeah, agree to disagree on that. They're still talking in furlongs over there. Hello to any of our viewers though watching from North America. And hello to everyone. All you lurkers that have said hello in the chat. Rebecca McClellan saying his birthday's on the 3rd of May. Thank you, Rebecca. That's been solved. I don't have to ask him. So there you go. I was right. We'll have to change the website, won't we? All right, here we go. In over number 8. Swinged away as Sukane Haile gets the second over. It's a pretty good area to bowl. Just getting the outside half of the bat on there. Got a bit of a Lamunga flavour in the chat at the moment, as you'd imagine. Great over, says Lamunga CC. And yeah, I want to see some more random people in the chat. Let us know where you're watching from. If you're a lurker, now's the time. I'm calling you out. Even if you're a blind lurker, people that just listen and they don't necessarily watch because they've got it in the background on the computer, let us know that you're watching. Oh, this one's full. Cracks off the wrists of our ways. I think they go back for slightly dicey too. It's got a bit of pace in it from Hyder. It's not an easy one for the keeper because it kind of hits the downslope here. See how it skids on? either off the line or just after the stumps. Norway's pretty quick to get back to the stumps, but that would sting. I'm telling you that much. That does not hit him in the gloves. He had that kind of pace. Say hello to Sam, who says he's a full-time lurker from Australia. Hello, Sam. Always pleased to hear from you. Good that you're watching. This time, pull shot this time. Apricot Pastry is lurking, but also marking homework. Well, you know, that's why you lurk. You got things to do. I understand that. I mean, I'm also trying to do a few things at once because I'm trying to keep half an eye on the Romanian tour as well. And it looks to me, the Bucharest Gladiators are going to do this. Looks like score's tied. I think that's live. And what a story that is. You've got the bottom two teams from last year playing the top two qualifier one, and it'll be the bottom team from last year that'll be straight through to the final. Short, a bit of extra pace. So they got a bit of firepower, don't they? Team España. Rico, if that game's almost over, I know that he'll be tuning in. Just give him a few minutes, and then everyone start tagging Rico in the chat, because I'm sure that he'll be watching. We'll have a bit of a break in Romania between now and the next game, so might have a few people with all their eyes on this game before too long. Gone. And Hyder cartwheels him. What a bit of bowling that is. And Safdar has to go. And every fast bowler loves this. Doesn't get any better than this. And unfortunately for Safdar, he'll only make 3. As 2 stumps remain standing, but middle stump is out of the ground. Norway, things going from bad to worse at the moment. 28 for 3. What a bit of fast bowling that is. He's taken things up a gear, and that is a genuine cartwheel. Oh, wow. And Safdar turns around and doesn't like what he sees. I think he knew. He heard the death rattle behind him. And Hyder, he's cock a hoop with that. Norway, they're left scratching their heads. They did come back from a really bad first half of their batting this yesterday to post a good total in the 130s. Can they do it today? And the big thing for me so far is we haven't seen Mohammad Sahak. He was the man yesterday. He was able to come and he turned the game on a dime. And I think you'd rather gamble with him earlier rather than later. Maybe they only want to kind of bat him in the second half. I can understand that. But with things kind of drifting, you feel like it's a gamble they'll have to take sooner than later. I would have been pretty tempted to throw him in at this stage. He seemed unbothered with the pace. He seemed the one batter that seemed to adjust to the conditions the best, and certainly had an aggressive approach. But what about that for a cartwheel? Well, not really what you want to see when your new batsman walking out there. Middle stump being knocked back in. Had to go find it first. Ali Tafsir is the new batter. He'll have one ball to deal with from Hyder. Shorter. That's the way. They won't get a run here. Pretty good over that from Hyder. Only concedes 4. Picks up the wicket of Bilal Safdar. After 8 overs, the score is 28 for 3. I'm going to go back to the lurkers. Well, Apricot Pastry, tell us again where you're watching from, if you can. I know you're marking homework, but it's Saturday. You've got a bit of time to talk to me. And, Andy's watching from Lamanga Torrevieja CC. And Rebecca, we mentioned. Thanks for sorting out the birthday question. Liam saying Bucharest are cruising. Well, I think they must be over the line by now. And hello to Jeff Maguire. I know that Grizzly have been big supporters of this event, so I appreciate that, Jeff. And hopefully we see you. It says it's raining in Northern Ireland. Well, no surprises there. Ninj has a good idea for Apricot Pastry, saying just give them all a C+ and enjoy the cricket. I'd say give them a B. B for beautiful. Here's Charlie Rumi in over number 9. Given doesn't meet the short cover. That's been effective fielding position. Got Stanny watching from the Middle East from Oman. I've never been to Oman. It's one place I would like to go. I know there's a lot of good things happening in cricket in Oman. They've been pushing their way up the rankings in the last few years. This one turns back and hit in the air, but around the infielder. It will just be a single. I don't think Spain mind that too much at the moment. Mohammed Ashful, he'd like to come to Spain as a cricket player one day. Well, hopefully if you find yourself here, there's plenty of cricket going on. Amanga saying maybe will we see spin from both ends with Charlie and Lorne. Well, at the moment, I think Now after you've seen a middle stump removal, I think it'd be hard to get the ball out of the hand of Hyder. He's got his tail up. Slightly uppish, but good bowling. And Ramicevic, as a left-arm spinner, I mean, your accuracy, that's your bread and butter, isn't it? You need to be able to put the ball wherever you want, and then the next level is to kind of have the variations. I mean, he's mastered a lot at such a young age. And this one, he's driven back it in. It's good bowling again. He gets through his overs pretty quickly. Hello to Melinda Macbeth, who's from Australia, and she loves this channel. That's really lovely that you say that, Melinda. What part of Australia are you from? I wonder if I've been there. Let us know in the chat. So, Looney doing a great job here. Just one to go in this over. We'll try and get through all of our lurkers and all of our viewers that have said hello in the chat. Thank you so much. Hello to Luke as well. He's watching from Belgium. He's pretty pleased to see people from all over the world. Oh, this one just out of the reach of the mid-wicket. There'll be no significant damage on the scoreboard. That was Lorne Burns, who I suppose he's not the tallest, but certainly had a bit of a dive at that. End of a pretty good over. Just the 2 singles off it. Spain putting the brakes on at the moment. 30 for 3 after 9 overs. So, yeah, a few people thinking, will we see a double spin attack? But yeah, I think it's smart. You've got to go back to Hyder. He's bowling with good rhythm. He's just knocked middle stump out of the ground. So, can't say I always understood bowlers, but if they take wickets, they don't like coming off. And they might not communicate that in more than a few grunts, but I think it's smart to give them what they want sometimes. So I think it's smart. I think Zulkarnain Hyder's going to get a third here. Just angle, this doesn't show the full face of the bat. So, yeah, keep an eye on that run rate required. I mean, I'm kind of used to 10 and over being fairly simple, the cricket that I've been covering in over 1,000 matches in the last year, but there's nothing simple about getting 10 and over against a fired-up bowling side and on a field with these kind of dimensions, with this kind of fielding standard. It does start with some intent. So just one to the sweeper. But what I would say is this is where you'd rather be proactive than reactive at getting Mohammad Sher Sahak out there, because he was one guy that yesterday